Granite Ridge 3100 SS here at Haylett RV of Goldwater, Michigan. Kind of the predecessor to today's Red Hawk Greyhawk series, more closely related to a Greyhawk for its time, I suppose. A little bit of a 38,000 miles, by the way. A little bit of an interesting piece because it looks like it was used a little rough, but it doesn't look like it was poorly maintained. It's kind of an interesting little conundrum here. Unlike a towable RV, a motorhome has to be pretty accessible in transit because you're in the thing. You need to be able to navigate the cabin. That's kind of the whole point of a motorhome versus a towable RV. This one is very, very easily accessible, but one of the things I like is with the bed not being in the slide, there's just no potential that you lose the ability to access the bed in transit. Very handy if you just want to stop and rub the sleep out of your eyes real quick. So I acknowledge I've given this RV a rather interesting introduction. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I try to shoot used RVs pretty straight. If I see something, I say something. I see some things on this I'm going to say some things about. But I see a little bit of the good with a little bit of the bad, you know? It's a weird thing that I'm looking at. So, like, case in point, if we look at these window shades, they're kind of jacked up. They've been used. But I guess you could say that falls somewhat into the realm of like cosmetic stuff. Because I've been all over the roof, which you'll see as we go outside. I actually took some video of the roof and all its seals. And especially with this soft touch ceiling liner, if this thing ever had a leak, you'd know it. You would know it because the glues they use when they build RVs, all the adhesives and the materials, it would stain this stuff like crazy. There's not a single stain up here. There's not a single soft spot anywhere. And this entire nose area actually looks like it's been very well maintained. There's not a single leak I can locate around the windows, under the pads, or anything. I've looked around this thing. So the shell, the structure, the part that's actually keeping the RV held together, it's actually in really good shape. So it's been used hard, but it's also been well maintained in a way. Like I said, this, you can kind of hear the confusion even in my voice when I say that. So I guess here's my thing. If what you're looking for is the cleanest, prettiest girl you've ever seen in your life, I'm not sure she's it. But if what you're looking for is something that's not going to break the budget, something that's going to get you from here to there and do so reliably, and you don't mind maybe, you know, cleaning it real quick or whatever, I think this is the one. Like I said, all the big, scary, expensive stuff is fine. Runs well. I don't know if you can hear the generator buzzing. You'll hear that when we go outside. Generator runs great. Like I said, all of your structure, your seams, your seals, very well maintained. They didn't let it fall apart. They just kind of rode it hard and put it away wet in horsing terms. So if you're still with us, let's talk about more of the exciting stuff. We've got heated power side mirrors over here. Pretty handy type stuff. I did take it for a quick spin around the block. Drove nicely. I was impressed with that. I didn't feel any like vibration in the wheel. I didn't feel anything that made me scared, you know. I do like this enclosed command center up here. This is really, to an extent, this model is still kind of in existence today. We call it a 29 MV Greyhawk, and the only difference is that it has a slide-out bedroom. Well, there's 100 little differences, but that's the main thing. This coach still lives on in spirit today, you could say. Oh, one thing. The pedestal leg holding up that table, it is literally just propped under there. I don't hide things, guys. When I came in, well, here, let me walk over here. But again, we're talking 2 screws. This is not the end of the world. You can see that the screws that are supposed to hold this mount up there popped out. But that's not the hardest thing in the world to replace. That's, to me, that's not a big deal. That's screwdriver work. If that's the only thing stopping you from buying this coach, chances are we've got guys, more than one, with a screwdriver that can overcome that. Let's not get our heads too wrapped up over that. So our big super slide over here, interesting storage jackknife sofa. And I kind of wish they would do this still today, these 2 big double drawers, because storage is so valuable. Even full overhead storage throughout the slide, which is another thing a lot of brands have stopped doing. We do have central air and heat. You'll be comfy. This was made before we all felt we needed a 50-inch flat screen in a 16-foot camper. But my point here is you've got a big open entertainment center. whatever TV you want to throw in there, you can, and it is just blam storage below it. The storage is probably as big as that 8 cubic foot fridge freezer, which at the time was a pretty cool, exceptional thing, and now you find those in like basic travel trailers all over the place. It's kind of funny, like people look at newer travel trailers and stuff today, they go, why do they cost so much more? Well, because they have newer, bigger, fancier stuff in them than they ever used to. That's one of the reasons. The sink and the stove being recessed for prep space is a nice little touch here. Moving back, pretty traditional walk-through middle bathroom. Nothing to necessarily write home about, but once again, in a way, that's kind of a good thing, because that means that I have not identified any major significant defects in which I feel the need to, you know, take some time to share. And as you've already seen, if I see something goofy or weird, I will go out of my way to share that with you folks, because I'm not ignorant. I understand this is a pretty major purchase in your life. This is not something that like, yeah, maybe I'll go try that new KFC $5 fill-up or something like that. This is a big purchase, and you want to make sure that you're not making a big mistake. So that's why I try to put this information out there. A little TV corner up top. Extra wardrobe closet back here. Oh, the old dustbuster. How you doing, girl? How you doing, Dusty? I'm going to call you Dusty. So, windows all over the bedroom. You got a big window over here, one on the back, and one on the side, which is something that a lot of today's coaches can't have because of the number of slides and closets and things. But with this being a rear north-south bed, you don't really have that problem. And I would have to measure it, but that looks closer to a 60 by 80 queen, not a short queen to me, but I could be wrong. So make sure, if that's a make or break thing for you folks, make sure you have our guys maybe put a tape measure to it before you do that. Now back here at night, if you want to get some fresh air flow and you just don't want to run the AC the whole time or whatever, you can open this up, you can open your windows and get a really nice cross breeze going through your RV, or through your bedroom here. So I mean, overall, like I said, it's not brand new, but I mean, you know, obviously you're not on a brand new price tag, but all the big, expensive, scary stuff, it's all fine. So I think that if what you're looking for is like, if you're on a little bit of a budget, you need a motorhome, or if you're just looking for a more casual use thing, like, yeah, we go to the races once or twice a year, so I just don't need to go broke on something. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is perfect. This is perfect for something like that.
I think one of the biggest concerns anyone's going to have with any used RV is what do the seals look like on the roof. Everything I can see up here looks good, and I see fresh sealant where it needs to be, presumably. That generally indicates a good level of proactive maintenance. You know, like I can see a lot of older sealant around here, but the stuff still looks great. So it looks like they replaced what they needed to when they needed to, which implies they were proactive on maintenance. Like you can see that this is not the same stuff as what we just looked at, but it's in excellent shape. So these folks were obviously up here on a regular basis to take care of things as they needed to. That trend kind of seems to continue all the way up through the RV. You can see I've walked around here a little bit, really kind of checking her out. I always try to go a little extra further on these used motorhomes to make sure everything's in good shape, but once again, some of it might be discolored a little bit. I don't really see anything that's too scary. This front termination strip, I would say sooner than later will probably need attention, but it's probably okay today.
Outside here, we are on a Ford E450 chassis with a Triton V10, which is just an awesome power plant. It is about one of the most reliable things I've ever encountered in my life from a motorized standpoint. That is a brand new awning. This RV's actually been here about a week. The awning needed replacement. Because like I said, if it was structural, these folks took care of it. Otherwise, they just kind of said, we're not going to get too invested in it. But that's fine. You know, you can replace little widgets. It's the big structural items that'll make you go broke trying to fix them. So they took care of the expensive, scary stuff, remember. But, you know, we figured overall, this is a pretty nice coach. You're going to want an awning, so we put a brand new awning on it. Like, it is really uncommon, too, something of this age with this kind of use, that you don't have any water penetration around that overhead front cab. But again, these folks, the really big important stuff, they took care of it. You can see the exhaust from the generator. You can probably hear it running. Generator fired right up. I was very happy with that. Everything seems to be working well mechanically. And really, I mean, if you look at it, the skin still has some good gleam. They were really good about taking care of the outside of this coach. It's not sunburnt. It's not weather exposed. We don't have peeled and flaking decals. I did not look at the tires. Let's do that together real quick. Tire, I don't see any dry rot. Tires look good. Inside tire looks good. The tread looks good. You got some nice sneakers on this girl. All right, fantastic. We will have a 5,000 pound tow rating on this. All your wiring and everything is there. So if you do want to put a little chase vehicle or small trailer or horse trailer. Oh, we do a lot of horse trailers here at Haylett RV as well. Kind of throws people off when I start talking about horse trailers, but that's a big part of what we do here as well. And there's a lot of folks that, like, if you're going to a weekend event or something like that, or you got kids in fair, for instance, this would be an awesome, awesome base camp. You could haul a little 2-3 horse bumper pull behind this. You'd be all set for the weekend. This would be fantastic for use like that. One other little thing I want to point out here is the little outside entertainment center. Before we had these outdoor TVs built into everything, we had these little outdoor entertainment centers that has just like a couple little stereo speakers, a little stereo built into it, and some TV hookups. Nothing major, but it's there. It's handy. Nice to just have some tunes playing under the awning. Double power entry step as well, and that seems to work like a charm. So, like I said, mechanically, structurally, she's an ace. Cosmetically, if 5 is average for this year, yeah, I'd give her a 4.5. You know, the things that are maybe a little bit scarred up on it, they're pretty easily overcome and fixed. There's nothing really major going on here. But, you know, we're a busy place. We've got, I mean, I got 2 trailers leaving over here, 3 trailers leaving over here right now. So, with everything that we have going on, we don't always go through and spend a bunch of labor time, tech time on cosmetic items, because tech time's easily over $100 an hour. That stuff adds up quickly. So, if you're a person with little knowledge, know-how, if you feel like putting a little YouTube time into a couple DIY things, this is a great buy, guys. This is a great buy. Because again, all the big scary stuff, it's all fine. But I always encourage you to form your own opinions. I put these videos out here to give you an idea. And some of this is based on my opinion. But my opinion and your money might not come up to the same thing. So visit our place, give our guys a call, see what this thing has to offer, and if you agree, take her home. And if not, know that we will obviously shoot you straight and we'll get you camping some other way. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.